This week on the RV podcast.
Well, it is RV show season, and if you're planning on visiting an RV show, we've got expert tips to save you time and money.
And if you use a late model Ford heavy duty truck to pull your RV, there's a major recall that you need to know about.
In Mike and Jen's story time, we're going to talk about the dangers of bad weather and overconfidence.
All this plus the RV news of the week and answers to your questions coming up in episode 529 of the RV podcast.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Wendland, and this is my lifelong traveling companion and my bride, Jennifer. And we're delighted to have you with us on episode 529 of the RV podcast. And it's a busy week for us. We hit the road, dodging looks like cold, frigid weather throughout the nation's midsection as we had our way down towards Tampa, Florida. And it should be an adventure, right?
Between the cold weather, snow, and possible ice, it had to be a real adventure.
What's to worry about?
True.
We're going to do our best to follow the 330 rule. 330 means we don't go any more than 330 miles in a single day. And if we have bad roads, that is a really important goal to keep in mind. And then we try and stop by 3:30 in the afternoon so we can set up, relax a little bit, fix a meal, and enjoy the evening without that stress of trying to pull into a camping site after dark. So wish us luck. We will be on the road. We hopefully to be doing our Ask Us Anything next Sunday night from Tampa, Florida. Hey, we'll get right to our conversation of the week about RV shows, and we are in the thick of RV show season right now. But first of all, I want to tell you that this part of the podcast is brought to you by Keystone RV's Montana line of luxury fifth wheels.
And if you're serious about RVing, you've probably heard of the Montana. And there's a reason for that. Montana isn't just an RV. It's the gold standard in luxury fifth wheels, representing over 25 years of quality, craftsmanship, and innovation.
And with features like stunning front living spaces, residential style kitchens, and durability tested, Montana is built to handle everything from epic cross-country trips to cozy winter retreats.
We've owned a Montana high country model for the past 2 years now, and we love it. As we've hauled it all over North America, it has amazed us with its quality of construction and the attention to details.
We call it our condo on wheels. That's how comfortable it is. When you own a Montana, you're not just buying an RV, you're stepping into a lifestyle where every mile feels like home.
Ready to upgrade your journey? Visit KeystoneRV.com to discover why Montana continues to set the standard for RVers who never settle.
And if you are attending the Florida RV Super Show in Tampa this coming week, meet us at the Montana display. We'll be in booth 770, and we're doing meet and greets there at 1 p.m. Thursday and Friday of next week. We'd be delighted to show you what makes Montana the gold standard in luxury fifth wheels. All right, time now for the RV conversation of the week.
We've lost count of how many RV shows we've attended. So here are our expert tips for attending an RV show, whether this is your first RV show or your 100th.
And just a quick reminder, if you're not going to Tampa, this applies no matter what RV show you're going to. We are in the midst of RV show season. And on RVLifestyle.com, we have a blog post that lists every show for every month all throughout 2025. And you can just go to RVLifestyle.com, search RV shows, and you'll find that. But we invite you to go to a show wherever you can find one near you, or a regional one, or a big one like Tampa or Hershey. We love attending RV shows.
We visit and report from many of the biggest and best RV shows every year, and smaller shows as well. It's a great way for us to stay up to date on the latest innovations in the RV community and to share our RV lifestyle community.
We also attend RV shows because we really enjoy them. We always run into fellow RVers that we've met on the road, and it is a great place to make new friends as well. The RV show season starts right now in January, this coming weekend, as we are releasing this podcast episode. kind of really kicks it all off, and it will run right through May. And then there's a summer break where there's some shows, but not many. And then it picks up in September and runs almost until Thanksgiving. And again, you can see a month by month RV show schedule at rvlifestyle.com. Just search for RV shows. So we're going to give you some tips that we think will help whether you're attending large RV shows or smaller ones. Doesn't matter the size of the show. Ready?
We're ready to get this going.
All right, let's start with what to bring.
You need to bring just two things. The most important is comfortable shoes. And if you have a pair of comfortable shoes, try to bring a couple pairs of comfortable shoes. Wear one for, one day and another pair for the next day. At a big show like the Florida RV Super Show in January or the Hershey RV Show in September, you're going to cover a lot of ground. 4 or 5 miles. It's not unusual.
And you'll also want to bring a pen or a marker, like one of those small Sharpies. And that is for the map that you'll be using, which we'll explain now.
Got to get to know the layout. Get a map first. Check online to familiarize yourself with how the show's laid out and the location of the RVs you most want to see. And every large or regional RV show has a website and an online map that you can print out. Then study it with your pen or marker in hand.
Now, ideally, you can do this the night before or before the doors open to the show so that you can take some time and look at the map and see where all the displays are. If that isn't impossible, at least do this before you walk off in a random direction once you go through the gates. Highlight any of the must-see booths of the RVs that you want to make sure you check out, newest models, new products that you really want to see.
As you do, the most efficient path to see everything you want will reveal itself. And don't forget to factor in stopping for snacks and bathroom breaks. Mapping this out can save you lots of time. In fact, plan each day the night before.
In fact, it might not be a bad idea to print out 2 maps, one for one day and one for the next. Use that marker. That's where a marker comes in handy because you can point, an arrow the way you're going to go. So you're not just going back and forth and around, but you have an actual route that you're attending.
And if you're attending one of the big RV shows that you can't see in a day, we highly recommend that you plan each day the night before. Take your map, put on all the show's websites to review the special events each day. You got to mark out, you got to read, you got to find out what educational seminars they're offering so that you don't miss anything that you really want to take in.
And then divide and conquer. If you're worried that you won't get to everything you want to do, split it up. If you're attending the RV show with your spouse or with friends, you can cover different sections and then attend different seminars. And then you can all share the highlights with each other at the end of the day.
Schedule breaks. As you plan your day, don't forget to schedule in breaks. Look for nice places along your route. That would be the best place to rest and mark it off. And there are usually more chairs available near food vendors and seminar areas where you can sit in between seminars.
Seminars are a big thing.
Yes.
Take a look because most of the shows have really great educational seminars, and it's fun to go to the look at the RVs and the vendors and everything. But the seminars are where you learn.
You can also schedule a midday break when you return to your RV for lunch. Plan your meals. There are lots of food booths around the show, but it's usually more expensive and the lines can get incredibly long. And sometimes it's just less convenient than eating at your rig. You're going to save money. You're going to eat better food. It's
you can
just
take
a good idea.
Take a little rest, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes to the next point we want to make. Don't overschedule. As you plan out all these things, it's so easy to try and take in everything at once. Seriously, take your time. There is so much to see and enjoy at an RV show that you just don't want to rush through it.
Trying to do too much in too little time is the surest way to turn a fun RV show into a frustrating experience.
That's where those that extra pair of shoes comes in handy that you mentioned.
Even the most comfortable shoes, you wear them and wear them and wear them, and then all of a sudden they're starting to hurt your feet.
How many shoes are you taking to Tampa?
I will probably take 3.
I'm taking a pair of boots and then a pair of casual shoes that are good enough if we're going to go to some of the things in the evening, some of the, if we're going to go out to dinner or something like that. But, and then I always have a pair, we always have something comfortable to wear in the RV. All right. So the big thing is how long should you spend at a show?
Well, a 2-day visit is the least amount of time if it's a big show. And if it's really a super big show, 3 days is ideal. And don't be pressured to buy. This is an important tip. Don't be pressured to buy that day.
We get a lot of questions about this. Do you really get a good deal at an RV show? Well, yes, you do. But it comes with a lot of pressure because quite a few of the sales reps out there are going to try and do that time pressure thing on you. Well, if you buy today and today only, if you buy by the end of the day, don't give in to that. In fact, if a salesman says this deal is only good for today, walk away. In our opinion, that is a red flag that the salesman is just relying more on his salesmanship than giving you an honest, good deal. The best deal shouldn't require you to make a decision at that moment to buy a travel trailer or a fifth wheel or a toy hauler. These are like the second most expensive things most people will buy next to a home. So it's not reasonable to make a decision by the end of the day, as you will get pressured by some of these guys. Some of these salespeople, they bring them in from all over the country, and they're really under a lot of pressure by they have these big rah meetings every morning. They got to hit this quota and all that stuff. Don't let them pressure you in. Take your time looking into that rig, checking it out.
It's so hard to take your time. You need to lay on that bed. Is it too firm? Is it too soft? Is it long enough for you if you are a tall person? If you have a CPAP machine, is there room for that CPAP machine? Where's the outlet? Is there enough room? Look at the drawers. Just look. In the bathroom, in the shower, especially if a class B, do you have enough room in that shower? Do you have enough room to turn around in that little bathroom? Are you going to get claustrophobic?
Gonna bump your head.
You're so excited. It is so hard to go, stop. And then when other people start coming in, they're looking at it, you say, oh dear, I better buy quickly or it's going to be gone. They're going to buy it. You really do need to think about what you want to bring, where you're going to put it, how comfortable you are, how wide do the windows open? Do they open 2 or 3 inches, or do they open big so that you can get some ventilation? If possible, turn on that air conditioning unit.
And how noisy is it?
How noisy is it? Are you going to be able to sleep with that? There are just so many things to think about.
And don't let them rush you through if you're going to be buying one.
And if you're going to order one, something that we have found is you love what you see. And then when you get yours after a period of time, they have changed it. And I mean, I've gotten a little pouty a couple of times. I wanted this and now it's gone. So I guess you can't be too rigid in what you want. It may be more flexible, but take your time.
Now, as to the prices for an RV at the RV show, generally they're very good prices. Mm-hmm. They're a pretty good reserve, but you should be able to get those same prices by calling around afterwards. So after the show, you can call the dealer you saw it, and if they say, "Oh, that was show only," and I want to give the dealers a little bit of a break here. It may be show only because sometimes the manufacturers give them a very special discount to kind of incentivize them to really sell those things. So it could be that they really do only have a special price for that show.
And it could be also that they don't want to haul it back to their store, wherever that might be, that there's a little bit better price because they brought it there and they really don't want to take it home.
Yeah. Well, they don't let you drive off. That's another miss. You can't buy it at the show and then drive off with it. Now, sometimes they'll deliver it to you, or they'll put it in a parking lot and you can pick it up later. They have all sorts of things they work around like that, but usually you can't buy it and drive it off from the show. But check out the pricing. It doesn't hurt to call them up and call up a number of dealers. Say, hey, I could get it for this price from this dealer, and maybe they'll match it. But generally, I have to say, don't you think that the show prices are pretty good?
Yeah, I think they are pretty good. I forgot about that factor, that they want to take it back and fine tune it before you drive off with it.
And another question people ask us is, can we trade in our RV? Well, if you've brought your RV to the show, yes, you probably can. You can bring it to them. They'll usually have people available outside of the show grounds who, in a parking lot nearby or an area at the edge of the show display where they can come and look at your RV and give you a price on it. And also ask if they have any used RVs for sales. They wouldn't be on the show floor, but they might be just off in a parking lot nearby. All right, so we've talked about RVs, we've talked about prices, but another big reason to go to an RV show is for the vendors. And we've got some tips. You can see all sorts, all the appliances, all the extras that you want to get. They're all available through vendors at the show, but we have some tips for that.
Don't buy the first thing you see or think you need from the vendor's display. Chances are another vendor has the same item and you might be able to find it at a better price or choose from more styles and more colors.
Now, something else you can do is make a note on your map of where you could make possible purchases of appliances or extras or accessories for your RV. Maybe you're going to get a new water hose or something. Well, you can get it from this vendor here. And then circle back around if you decide to buy it. Now, here's a great tip. When you buy something, you don't want to have to carry that all the way through the park, through the show again. If you're still shopping for RVs and going out and looking at seminars, you don't want to be lugging that hose that you bought. So
ask the vendor if they can store it, set it aside for you, put your name on it so you can pick it up on the way out. So you don't want to lug it around.
Yep. All right. Well, those are our tips about an RV show, and they are a lot of fun. We will be doing our regular video reviews and updates and live feeds on Facebook and in our rvcommunity.com, on Instagrams. We'll do that all week long. Again, we want to remind you, we're doing 2 meet and greets Thursday and Friday at the Tampa RV Show, 1 p.m. at booth 770. That's the Montana display there. Whew, that was a lot. I'm tired. We haven't even gone yet.
Now it's time for a break, and we'll be right back for the social media buzz.
Are you ready to embark on an unforgettable adventure in your RV? Our RV Lifestyle Travel Guide ebooks are your ultimate companions for exploring North America's most breathtaking destinations. They'll help you hit the road with confidence and make the most out of your RVing experience. We're Mike and Jennifer Wendland, and we are passionate explorers and the authors of an entire library of RV Travel Guide ebooks. We have meticulously put together detailed travel maps showing you the best routes, where to stay, what hidden gems to discover along the way. From the majestic Yellowstone National Park to the vibrant colors of Colorado, the awe-inspiring beauty of Utah, the enchanting deserts of Arizona, the tranquil Great Lakes region, the pristine wilderness of the Adirondacks. We've even done a captivating 3-part guide to RV travel and camping in Florida. No matter where your wanderlust takes you, we've got you covered. Our curated list of must-see attractions ensures that you won't miss out on any unforgettable experiences. You want to witness the eruption of Old Faithful? We've got you covered. Craving an epic road trip through breathtaking landscapes? We've got the perfect route for you. Dreaming of beachside camping under the stars? We know the best spots. With our ebooks available for instant download at rvlifestyle.com/books, you can have the knowledge you need right at your fingertips. Head over to rvlifestyle.com/books and start exploring the wonders of North America today. Unforgettable adventures are waiting.
Welcome back, and now it's time for Wendy Boyer. She's going to report on the hot issues most talked about this past week on social media and our RV Lifestyle Community Group.
Hi, everybody. This has been a busy week over in the RV Lifestyle community. This past week, we transitioned to a private members-only group. We celebrated that by opening up sign-ups for our first rally. We're going to all be camping together in Nashville in April. Can't wait for that. We also released our first course. We have a course called Mastering the RV Lifestyle, and Module 1 was released for free to those in the community. And we're already hearing great feedback on that. And also this Thursday night, tomorrow night, we're going to be talking on a live chat about a very timely topic, and that is bad roads, bad weather when you're out there in your RV. Can't wait for that. But meanwhile, over in our RV Lifestyle Facebook group, things are going along as usual. And I'd like to tell you about a post from Chantel that really got people talking. Now, it sounds like Chantel's from southern Florida, and she went last fall up to northern Indiana, was camping along Lake Michigan, and while there, stink bugs got into her rig. So she went back to South Florida, and then these things are still coming out of her rigs. It sounds like it's been so hard to get rid of them. But, excuse me, the reason why she shared this post is she came up with a way. She told everybody she got some water, put a little dish soap in it, shone a light on it, and the stink bugs came to this, attracted by the light. They drowned, and she got something like 20 and 24 hours. So she wanted to share this tip with everyone. And lots of people could relate to these unwanted hitchhikers hopping in their RV. We had stories from people saying stink bugs got in their rig in Ohio, and months later down in the Southwest, they're still coming out. We had people saying, stink bugs, they lay dormant, they just kind of hide all over your rig, and then as soon as it warms up, they show up. And many people started sharing some tips on how to get rid of them. Some, they just vacuum them up. Some had systems like Chantel. Others said, when you're somewhere warm, just lock up all of your rigs airtight, let it get really hot in there, and they will die on your counters and on your floor, which sounds kind of gross, but it works apparently. And anyway, there were lots of tips shared on this whole stink bug issue, and the bottom line is don't squish them because they really do stink, and you don't want to do that. And then another post on Facebook I wanted to share was from Jason, and Jason's getting ready to go to the Tampa RV show next week. First time going, he's thinking about buying a rig, and so he asked for some tips, and he got some great tips. And since it is the start of RV show season, wanted to share this. First, many people said before you step in the door of that show, Jason, do your research. Know what rigs you're interested in and know what manufacturers you want to look at, and then go straight there because there's so many choices you'll get overwhelmed otherwise. Others said if you're buying a fifth wheel, make sure you do the math first to make sure you have enough truck to handle it. And then finally, people said, if you know what you want to get and you're really thinking about buying at the show, go on RV Trader or a website like that for used RV sales and make sure you kind of know what the prices are for what they're selling for out there, and use that information as a negotiating tool with whomever you're thinking of buying from. So great tips that I hope can help someone else as well. And that's it for me this week. I'm Wendy Boyer, and I'll see you either in the community or Facebook group.
Aha, stink bugs. We have them as well in Michigan. We were first introduced to them in Florida when our kids from Michigan brought them in their luggage to our place in Florida. And now they're everywhere. And they're just hard to get rid of. I just can't believe how tough those little guys are. But I am bad because I take a Kleenex, I squash them and throw them away. That's one good thing about having allergies is that I don't smell them.
They do stink.
If I found that if I left them alive at all, they were climbing out of waste baskets and climbing out of my vacuum where I vacuumed them up. They need a burial at sea, which is flush down the toilet, or else squash them.
There you go.
My expert advice.
How many, hey man, how many of your wives are willing to squash bugs? Huh? I got a keeper here. she does. She really does. It's not just stink bugs. We had a real infestation of, I think they're Asian beetles or ladybugs this year. And I was just out there in our RV as we're packing it ready to go to Tampa. It's cold. It's really freezing out here. And I've got a little heater on, and it's up, keeping the inside of the unit 40, 50 degrees. And those little guys, they're coming out. They're coming out. So
yeah, they like to crawl under pieces of wood, decorative wood, and get in there.
Yeah, well, we'll be getting rid of those. We brought those back from Tennessee.
Yeah, I will say that our two sons found it extremely amusing. Mom with bugs, they would call me rather than them tending to a bug. They'd say, yeah. Mom,
she just goes and squishes them
with a Kleenex.
Tell you, I got a winner here. Okay, time for the RV news of the week. And we don't have a lot of RV news because, frankly, all of the RV manufacturers are focused on one thing, and that is the Florida RV Super Show. If you knew, I would love to do a video on this some year. If you knew the choreography that is involved in moving all of these RVs to an area, and they park them literally that far
Oh,
apart.
it's incredible how they park them. That really would be a fun
It would be
story.
a
I think
great
you would
time
all
lapse.
love it. Watching them put the carpets down and plants and wheeling all these things in. They probably wouldn't let us be there.
Well, we have a little extra pull this year. We're going to be in on Monday. In fact, I'm hoping to record our podcast for next week at the show on Monday. But maybe we can get a little video of that. But wouldn't it be a great time lapsing? Anyway, RV news of the week. The big news is there is a big diesel Ford truck recall.
And since a lot of RVers use these to tow their fifth wheels and travel trailers, we want to alert you that Ford Motor is recalling nearly 300,000 diesel engine trucks because of a defective fuel pump that could cause a loss of power, raising the risk of a crash.
Now, what happens here is biodiesel deposits can form on this pump. It's technically the drivetrain roller components of the pump. And that leads to a failure, oftentimes, of the high pressure fuel pump. And this is according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Drivers whose vehicles are affected by this faulty fuel pump would experience, quote, extended crank while starting. It would just kind of, try and go. And there'd be some noise and reduced engine power.
And a check engine light that and noise and all that will happen. And Ford says it's not aware of any reports of accidents, injuries, or fires linked to the fuel pump problem.
That's good news.
Yeah, very good news. And the recall applies to the following truck models.
Okay, 2020 through 2022 Ford Super Duty F250, F350, F450, F550, F600, 2021 to 22 Ford F650s, and F750s. And again, these are for the Super Duty trucks is 2020 through 2022 models. And for the big 650s and 750s, it's 21 and 22.
Now, Ford dealers will update the powertrain control module software free of charge. Notification letters are expected to be mailed to owners of affected vehicles on January 13th.
And we will put a link to this story and everything you hear on this on our show notes page for the podcast. And you find that at rvlifestyle.com/podcast. All right. When we come back, questions of the week and Mike and Jen's story time.
When we're asked what's the most important modification we made to our RV, it's an easy answer. Battle-Born batteries. Battle-Born batteries are quality, safe, reliable lithium batteries that allow us to stay out there off the grid longer. Lithium batteries charge faster, they charge fuller, they're longer lasting, they're maintenance free. And Battle-Born batteries are protected by a 10-year guarantee. Now, in our case, they just dropped into the existing AGM batteries that we have, and they'll probably be the same on your rig too. Battle-Born battery experts can get those in your rig just like they did with ours. They can also match you up with the right cabling, the inverter, the charger, the solar controller, everything. Jennifer and I swear by our Battle-Born batteries. They allow us to boondock off the grid. Check them out. Go to rvlifestyle.com/lithium. rvlifestyle.com/lithium.
Welcome back, everybody. Time now for the question of the week.
Okay, here we go. I would like to outfit our leisure travel van and Honda CRV to travel together. We have never towed. Do we need to get professional trained? Do you have to take a special class or anything? Or is this something we can easily learn on our own? Is U-Haul a good company to install the towing equipment? And this is from Despina.
Well, there are several ways to tow a vehicle behind your motorhome. And we're not going to go into every different way, but the most popular ways are a tow dolly, which is kind of like a trailer that your vehicle drives up on and sits on, or flat towed. And again, there are other ways too. You can do it two wheels down, all that. But we're going to just get to basically flat tow is what you're talking about. that is also known as all four wheels down, which is by far and away the most popular and the one that we would recommend for you guys. To flat tow with all four wheels down, you first need to make sure that the vehicle can be towed that way.
But your Honda CRV can indeed be flat towed like that.
Now, for other people who are wondering, check the vehicle manual, or you can call your dealer, or you can just search online, the name of your vehicle and can it be flat towed. But like Jen says, the Honda CRV can be flat time. And there's something else they call it.
Some people call it dinghy towing.
Dinghy towing, that's it. All right, so to flat tow, you need some parts. You need a small tow bar. You need a base plate, and that attaches to the front of your Honda CRV. You want to have a supplemental braking system that connects the RV and the vehicle's braking system to control that added weight as you're driving along. And you need some safety cables in case the tow bar somehow disconnects. And you also should have an emergency brake system that engages the brakes on the tow vehicle, the vehicle that you're towing, if that bar connection fails. And you get all that from a supplier. There are several suppliers out there. Demco is one. NSA RV Products is one. And probably the most well-known and the one we're most familiar with is Blue Ox. Blue Ox has a really helpful and a comprehensive towing guide resource available that you can read online, and it goes into great detail. We'll put a link to Blue Ox in the show notes for this episode, rvlifestyle.com/podcast. Blue Ox has a list of dealers across the country who can install everything for you, and most of those are at RV dealerships.
And as to U-Haul, yes, U-Haul can install vehicle towing equipment at many of their locations too. And you can call the ones nearest you to see what they offer.
Once you've purchased the gear and you've had everything installed, whoever does that should give you instructions on how you hook up and how you tow.
And you should be able to learn these things yourself. Practice hooking up and unhooking, and in a big parking lot, driving and turning. And you'll be very happy to have it towed with you on your RV trips. That way, whenever you want to run errands and explore, you don't have to break camp. And we just hope this helps.
All right. Well, have fun, Despina, and send us a picture when you get it all figured out and let us know how it went. If you have a question that you'd like us to answer on the podcast or a comment on anything you've heard, our personal email is mikeandjen@rvlifestyle.com. All right. You know what time it is.
Yeah, it's time for our Mike and Jen story time.
And this week, especially with all these storms that are out there across the country, we want to give you a first-person story about the dangers of being overconfident. That was me, especially when there's ignorance. That was me again, about the weather. And this week, as that massive cold and ice storm we just had across much of the midsection, our story may have more relevance than normal. So this one happened a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we were rushing to get to our RV property in Tennessee. It was nearly a 500-mile drive from Florida to our RV property in Tennessee.
Now, this is no defense, but we have made that trip many, many times. So I was just pretty confident about it. I knew how long it would take there. I knew the route we were going to take, and I didn't think much of it at all.
And the weather was okay at the start, but by the time we reached Birmingham, Alabama, it started to rain. And we should have checked the weather and spent the night at a full hookup campground we know near Huntsville, because it was a terrible driving day.
And it got worse and worse as we head north. Now, if I had checked the weather, I would have known that there was a massive cold front coming in. And by the time we got off I-65 and started making our way through Tennessee, we were pretty committed, because we had about 100 miles to go, but there was no campground or no place that we could easily overnight. So I said, well, we're just going to go through and do it. And that's when the problem started.
Yeah, the temperatures started dropping fast. The rain became freezing rain, and 50 miles out, it turned to ice.
And
Darkness fell, and the ice turned everything white. The roads were slippery.
And I kept driving.
With a noisy wife.
Yes. And this last 25, 30 miles were pretty icy and dicey. But I made it to our property. We opened the gates, icicles hanging off the gate from the freezing rain and ice. And here's where I was really surprised. I'm very familiar with our property. I have a U-shaped driveway. I usually just drive right in and go up the other end and back into my spot. I said, wow, we're done. We made it. But everything was white. Remember I said that with the ice? Well, I thought I was still on my driveway because the driveway is a lighter color. Well, I wasn't. I literally came inches from tipping the RV and the truck in some soft rocks, which edged the lighter colored gravel in our driveway. It was pretty grim. Now she's being very kind because she's outside.
No, I was outside having heart failure, thinking if he tips over the RV, will the truck tip over as well? And I'm never going to do that again. Let you think you can do something which all logic tells me you can't do.
Well, it was clear that our wheels were not where they should be. And I jumped it into 4-wheel drive, and I was pulling us out. But I just decided, this is crazy. I don't know what's going on. We got out, and still in the ice and the snow, and with the light, it was hard to really see what was going on.
Can I say though, it was very pretty, the ice and the white.
Yeah, right.
It was very attractive.
Well, that was at night, and I pulled out, came out the other side of the driveway, and we went next door to our neighbors. Comet Troy lives next door to us. He's building a little RV park over there, and he let us hook up to power, and we spent the night. You didn't talk to me much that night.
What was so nice to have the power, because I had wanted to just pull out in front of our place and wait till morning
on the road, but the road was slippery. I didn't want to.
Yeah, I can see why you didn't want to do that. But what would have really been nice with that power is if you would have parked level.
I did not park level. Yeah,
I've never been good at sleeping at an angle.
So anyway,
he's got a whiny here.
Bright and early the next morning, ice covered everything as I woke up. The sun was out. It
Beautiful.
Was brilliant. It was beautiful. And I walked over to our property, and I could see how close we came to disaster. And the lesson is, don't have tunnel vision because you know the route or you're overconfident. In the winter especially, but anytime, know the weather forecast, not just for the place that you're taking off from, but the place that you will be arriving, where you'll be arriving.
And what you're driving through to get there.
Yeah. Now, in that next day, I was easily able to get into our spot. I mean, I just came in because I could see everything was good. I just came in the driveway and then backed right in. But an ice storm in the dead of night, we were very fortunate that we didn't lose control on the icy highways as we were driving there or tip over in our own driveway.
But we came away with some valuable lessons. Overconfidence and ignorance of the weather can have devastating consequences.
All right, that's Mike and Jen's story time. Can we have a happy story next week?
Yes, let's have a happy one.
I'll try. Okay. Although we're still, as this story is going out on this podcast, we're driving to Florida in icy cold weather again. So we'll see how this goes. All right, send your questions and your comments, anything you heard today to us. Our personal email, always available for you, Mike and Jen at rvlifestyle.com.
Happy trails.